Ghosts and spirits, those mysterious and sometimes terrifying beings that live between the realms of the living and the dead, have been a part of human culture for millennia. Every culture has its own interpretations of the afterlife, and with it, a rich tapestry of legends featuring these otherworldly creatures. Whether they're seeking revenge, guiding souls, or simply haunting the living, these entities have always had the power to intrigue and unsettle us. In this video, we'll explore the top 10 ghosts and spirits from different mythologies and cultures around the world, beings whose stories continue to haunt our imaginations. Let's begin with the iconic Headless Horseman from Washington Irving's The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. This ghostly rider is said to be a Hessian soldier who was decapitated during the American Revolutionary War. His restless spirit now roams the woods, forever searching for his lost head. With his eerie silence, glowing eyes, and the sound of hooves echoing through the night, the Headless Horseman has become a symbol of vengeance, making Sleepy Hollow a place where the supernatural is never far from reach. This haunting figure captures the essence of fear and the chilling idea of an eternal quest for something lost. Next up, the Banshee, a ghostly figure deeply rooted in Irish mythology. A Banshee is not just any spirit, she is a harbinger of death. It is said that the Banshee appears to forewarn the death of a loved one by wailing in sorrow. Her mournful cries, often heard in the dead of night, signal an impending tragedy. The Banshee can be seen as an old woman, sometimes young and beautiful, but always draped in a white or gray cloak. Her cry is so chilling that it is said to pierce the hearts of those who hear it, a haunting reminder of the fragility of life. The Banshee represents the inevitable end of life and the emotions tied to mourning. Moving from Europe to Japan, we encounter the Yūrei, restless spirits who have unfinished business or died under tragic circumstances. In traditional Japanese folklore, these spirits are often depicted as pale, ghostly figures with long, disheveled hair and white burial garments. Yūrei are believed to be souls of the dead who have died suddenly or violently, murder, suicide, or drowning often being the causes. Their anger and sorrow keep them from finding peace, and they drift silently through the night, seeking revenge or trying to resolve their unresolved emotions. The Yūrei embodies the idea that death is not always the end and that unresolved issues can keep us bound to the world of the living. In Greek mythology, the Shade is the spirit of a deceased individual who resides in the underworld, specifically in the shadowy realm of Hades. The Shade doesn't return to the living world with any grand purpose like other vengeful spirits. Instead, they exist in a form of sadness, roaming the underworld in a state of emptiness. Souls of the dead wander the asphodel meadows in a state of indifference, with no strong connection to the world they once inhabited. The Shade serves as a reminder of mortality, where no one is immune to death, and even in the afterlife, existence can be defined by nothingness. Next, we have the Tokoloshi from Southern African folklore, a creature that takes the form of a mischievous and dangerous spirit. The Tokoloshi is said to be a small, impish being that causes harm by entering people's homes at night. According to legend, it can cause sickness, misfortune, or even death. The Tokoloshi is often summoned by witch doctors, and it is believed that it can become invisible by drinking water or sleeping on a raised surface, which is why people were advised to sleep on bricks. This trickster spirit reflects the fears of the unknown and the idea that malicious beings can strike without warning, even in your own home. Moving into Native American mythology, the Wendigo is a terrifying spirit often associated with greed, cannibalism, and madness. According to legend, the Wendigo was once a human who was driven to consume human flesh out of desperation, and in doing so, became cursed. This curse transformed the individual into a malevolent, cannibalistic creature, a creature so hungry that it would devour anything, yet its hunger would never be satisfied. The Wendigo has been a symbol of the dangers of greed and the loss of humanity, a fearsome creature lurking in the northern forests of North America, waiting to possess those who dare to venture too far into the wilderness. In Scandinavian folklore, the Draugr is a terrifying, undead being that haunts burial mounds. These creatures are not just spirits but physical manifestations of the dead, often described as rotting corpses with superhuman strength. The Draugr guards its grave and treasure hoards, and if disturbed, will rise from the mound to attack. Unlike many ghosts, the Draugr can physically harm the living, and its presence is often associated with a dark, oppressive energy. The Draugr serves as a cautionary tale, reminding people of the power that the dead can hold, especially if they are disturbed in their eternal rest. Next on our list is La Llorona, the weeping woman from Mexican folklore. This tragic spirit is said to wander the rivers and lakes, crying for her lost children. According to the tale, La Llorona drowned her own children in a moment of rage, and now, forever regretful, she searches the night for them. Her weeping is heard late at night, and it's said that children should never venture too close to water, lest La Llorona snatch them away. This sorrowful figure represents the consequences of overwhelming grief and the haunting effects of remorse. From Indian folklore, we find the Horror, a horrific spirit that takes the form of a beautiful woman with the feet of a bird or sometimes, hooves. The Horror is said to be the vengeful spirit of a woman who died in childbirth. She lures men with her beauty before revealing her true form and draining their life force. This spirit embodies both the power and the danger of unchecked female energy, as well as the fear of the unknown lurking beneath a seemingly innocent surface. Finally, the Jinn, supernatural beings from Arabian mythology, are spirits that live in a parallel world to humans. The Jinn can be both good and evil, and they have the power to possess humans, grant wishes, or cause chaos. The Jinn are said to be made from smokeless fire, and their ability to shapeshift makes them unpredictable and dangerous. In Islamic tradition, the Jinn have free will, much like humans, and can either help or harm depending on their nature. The Jinn have inspired countless tales of magical wishes and terror, making them one of the most well-known supernatural entities in the world. These spirits and ghosts, whether they are vengeful, sorrowful, or simply lost, have captured the human imagination for centuries. They remind us that death is not always the end, and that the supernatural world may be closer than we think. Each of these entities reflects the fears, beliefs, and stories of the cultures from which they come, showing that, across the globe, death and the afterlife have always been topics that stir both fascination and fear. Thank you for joining us on this eerie journey through the world of ghosts and spirits. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more spooky tales, and hit that bell so you never miss a video. Until next time, remember to keep an eye on the shadows, who knows what might be lurking there.